We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com.
Moving on to Josh Pollard from the Digital Media Zone. One of Josh's co-workers said that the Netflix and Amazon video apps on the Xbox One S don't actually play HDR. Josh was under the impression that they can. What's the scoop?
Can I be totally
Scoop
honest?
us. Yeah.
When it comes to the Amazon video, I don't know.
I don't even know if there's a way to know.
I'm not 100% certain on Amazon. I was searching on this, but I mean, like if you're trying to read the forums or Reddit or wherever it is, like, man, do people not know what they're talking about?
No, they don't.
It's really, really hard to sift through it all and figure out whether Amazon's HDR video through the Xbox One S app is actually working or not. I don't know. But Netflix's is.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Now, Netflix themselves, in their own help files, they clearly list the Xbox One S as one of the devices that can pass their HDR signals.
There you go.
There are plenty of people demonstrating it working. So the Netflix one, I know for sure does work. The Amazon one, I don't know, because we don't get that service in Canada, so I have no way of testing that, even if I had an Xbox One S, which I do not, nor do I have an HDR
some
TV.
Of the crazy forum people seem to think it does pass it through? Anybody, or is it conflicting ideas?
Yeah, some people are saying that it activates the HDR mode, so okay. I don't know.
So
a whole
maybe.
Bunch of people say it doesn't. I don't know. I'm sorry.
You'd think, given the competition with Netflix, they'd want to match them tit for tat.
Well, I mean, they've said it's going to. They claimed all along it's going to, so I just don't know if it's happened yet. Maybe there have been those weird things where some people get updates that other people don't, right? They don't roll them out to everybody. Yeah. So I don't know when it comes to Amazon. But the point is, if you're just saying that neither of them worked, according to this coworker,
that's wrong.
Something went awry, because the Netflix one for sure should be able to. And there are plenty of reasons why they might not be getting the HDR mode activating on their TV. So I'll just quickly run through them. First of all, everything needs an update. All right. The Xbox One S out of the box won't do this. Have to do the firmware update. The Netflix app that's included out of the box won't do this. Have to get the Netflix update. All right. Your television, like let's say it was a Vizio, right? Those Vizios that came out, they supported Dolby Vision out of the box. They didn't support HDR10 out of the box, which is the only type of HDR the Xbox One S can output. You got to update your Vizio TV if it was a Vizio TV. So if he hasn't updated one piece in this, it could be your AV receiver as well. There were AV receivers that required HDR10 updates before that was working. So make sure everything is updated. That is an easy thing to overlook. Next, you have to have a Netflix premium subscription. You have to have the $12 per month subscription, because they won't send you the HDR signal if you have the regular $8 or $10 a month subscription. So that can be an easy thing to overlook.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah. After all of that, there are a lot of HDR capable TVs where you have to manually activate the deep color or UHD color mode in order for it to accept a 10-bit signal, which is what the Xbox One S is going to be outputting. That isn't an automatic thing. By golly, it should be, but it isn't in every TV. So that's an easy one that you might have to go in there and activate. So there are plenty of reasons why we know it works, but this coworker might not have been seeing it. So got to go through a whole bunch of stuff there.
By the way, we should talk about a doohickey a friend of mine just bought. It's called HDML Cloner Box Pro.
Yep.
And it records any HDMI signal to a flash drive.
Right.
It's like $130.
So you can spoof the EDID. Is that the idea?
I'm not saying that that's why you have it. I'm just saying it can record anything from HDMI to a flash drive in an MP4 file. It's kind of neat. Anyway, moving along, another question from Josh. Josh has a 4x2 HDMI matrix switch used for managing multiple devices connected to two TVs in one of the conference rooms at his office, and he hates it. That's in italics and bold. Hates it. Every time any input is switched, both TVs go black for a couple of seconds. There's also a weird audio issue where sometimes after switching inputs, he has to fiddle around with the audio buttons labeled 5.1 and 2.1 to get sound out of the TVs. The switch is a View HD prosumer Ultra HD HDMI True Matrix 4x2. We've mentioned a different one before on the show. What was it?
Well, we can refer to it, just our previous question. It was those Blackbird brand ones from Monoprice.
Good old Monoprice.
Yeah, those are the 4x2 matrix switches that most likely were what we recommended and mentioned on this show. The price isn't significantly different from that View HD brand one that he already had, so it's not like there's a huge cost savings, but they work well. But what he's describing isn't actually the switch's fault. Not really. Because
sounds like more going on.
Yeah, well, anytime you activate a new source and send that to one of the TVs, it attempts to do a handshake.
Yeah.
And when you're using a 4x2 matrix switch, that one source is able to see the EDID, that's the extended display information data, from both of the displays. And it says, I need to send out a signal that's compatible with both of these. So both TVs blank, both TVs re-handshake with the new source, even when you haven't switched so that the one source is feeding both monitors. It's just the source is the device saying, I need to send a signal that's compatible with both of these displays. Both of you need to send me your handshake data, even though only one of you is actually going to be displaying me. You both need to be compatible, so both displays end up blanking. So the thing that he hates about this, with both screens going blank, now the duration of that blank, maybe it'll be a little bit shorter with the Blackbird than the one that you have, but it's still going to happen. You're still going to get this flickering screen annoyance.
Would it help at all to have one of the TVs off or on a different input when you first switch to the new source?
Well, sure, if you turned it off. Yeah, but then when you turn on that new TV, there's going to be another handshake.
Okay, everything's going to go again. Yeah, so it doesn't help. Is the answer.
Yeah, so you can't really blame the Switch because it's all this handshaking nonsense. So honestly,
HDMI.
To solve this silly issue, what you really need is an HD Fury, which is not a cheap device. $200 minimum. The one you probably want is $250. That is a 2-in, 2-out device. So if you only have two sources, you can use that as your 2x2 matrix switch all on its own. If you have more, you could actually continue using the matrix switch you already have. You'll just feed the matrix switch's two outputs to the two inputs of the HD Fury, and then the two outputs of the HD Fury to your two displays. Now, what the HD Fury does is it sits in between, and it basically retains the handshake information. So when the TV is looking for a signal, it sees the HD Fury and goes, oh, I'm already connected to this. I don't have to do another handshake. I already get the signal that's coming in. And when the source device tries to connect, it sees the HD Fury and goes, oh, I don't have to blank the TVs. I already see a device I know I'm compatible with. So that's basically what that HD Fury is doing, but it's kind of expensive. If $250, I mean, this is your business, so maybe you can write it off.
Yeah, but he hates it in italics and bold. He hates it.
It's a significant cost. That's the issue. I know that like Geffen also offers devices, matrix switches that would work here, but they're in the $600 to $700 range, so it's even worse.
I think probably bold and italic hate is $200 worth. That's what I think.
It could be, but honestly, that is the solution, not the matrix switch itself.
There you go.
Sorry for the bad news.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.